Hello guys, this is Dark Fox Sage 2 and we are back with our new fanfic, which is What If Naruto Got Proposed by Ino in Hospital Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to upload more fanfic like these for you all. Now let's start the fanfiction. I sighed. Unbelievable, I skipped skiing with Kiba and the guys to do this. I mean, this is Christmas vacation where for the first 4 days all the dudes go out to cabins, go skiing and get drunk, party and have a good time. It's like a tradition, not to mention that this is our last year of high school and probably the last time going to the cabins and I'm missing it. Uhu, what the hell was I thinking? I though feeling bitter. Sadly, instead of going skiing with all my buddies, I was here sitting in a dress shop that was covered in pink and womanly things that I'd prefer not to mention, and to make my situation worse, I was sitting in a pink feathered chair while holding a purse. A pink purse at that. It's just a good thing I don't know anyone here. I would lose the little dignity I had left, not to mention I was starting to question my manhood because. Hey Naruto, I'm talking to you, yelled a voice which snapped me out of my thoughts. I looked up to see Sakura. Sorry. You were saying? I asked, smiling sheepishly. Sakura rolled her eyes. What do you think? She asked, twirling around. She was in a red ball gown dress that reached the floor. The top was tight, making her bust look bustier, and it was cut along the left leg, showing her long, smooth, pale legs, and the rest of the dress was filled with ruffles. It looks really beautiful on you, Sakura-chan, I said, being truthful. But why are we here in the first place? I asked, completely clueless, and by now you could guess that I was in a woman's clothing store, for the rich, beautiful and snobby. Sakura sighed, shaking her head at me. Don't you ever pay attention? I'm here because I need to find a dress for the party my parents are going to throw me when I graduate high school, she said, making me groan because up till now I had completely forgotten about that stupid party. Sakura walked into the dressing room and I sighed. I must have been beyond high if I agreed to miss the skiing trip to go shopping with Sakura for a party I don't even want to go to. Yet the funny thing is I never remembered taking drugs. Yeah, Sakura is a drug of her own, a very dangerous one at that. Come on, let's go, Sakura said, coming out of the dressing room, hands full of colorful dresses. Here, return these to the front, she said, dropping the dresses on my lap and snatching her purse. I thought you were going to buy a dress, I said as I returned all the dresses and followed her towards the store exit. Well, you're of no help, Baka, so I'm just going to have to come back and buy a dress another time. God, Naruto, you so useless sometimes, Sakura said, angrily stomping her feet like a child, quickly walking away. I sighed. And this is why I'm questioning my manhood. Being in a relationship with Sakura makes me really question what I have down there, and sometimes I have to check just to make sure it's still there. I sighed again, and the chase begins. I thought, running towards Sakura to apologize for whatever I did, and there goes my manhood. It's really a good thing the guys aren't here. In the cabins. Normal Pav. Sasuke stood outside one of the many cabins at Mount Konoha, the only mountain in Konoha that was cold all year long except in the summer when it was warm. Sasuke was in the deserted parts of Konoha where no one cared to go anymore since it was the original cabins with no heat or electricity. Sasuke stood out there in a dark black leather jacket, dark blue skinny jeans and winter boots. Just when Sasuke was starting to get irritated and tired of waiting, a black jeep started and come into view, parking near the cabin. Hinata stepped out of the car. She was wearing a cream-colored winter jacket, light purple jeans and white fur winter boots. Finally, Sasuke said in an irritated voice when Hinata was standing in front of him. Sorry, Hinata said in a small voice, looking down, pocking her fingers together. It's just that there was so much snow and I kinda got lost, she stuttered out. Sasuke said, looking away from the shy Hyuga. Sasuke, Hinata said. Why did you want me to come here? She hesitantly asked. Sasuke grabbed Hinata's hand, making the small girl squeak out in surprise. It's annoying how you stutter so much. It's just me, so why are you acting like this? I thought we got over that, Sasuke said, his irritation only growing. Sorry, Hinata said shyly, but Sasuke let go of her. Stop apologizing, it's annoying, Sasuke said. Sore, Hinata started but covered her mouth before she could finish, and for a minute they were completely silent, white lavender-colored eyes softly gazing at hard onyx eyes. Do you wanna break up with me? Sasuke asked, finally breaking the long silence, but not in the way Hinata was expecting. Hinata hesitated for a split second that didn't go unnoticed by Sasuke. No, she tried saying with as much surety as possible. You're lying, Sasuke said, glaring at Hinata, who looked hurt at his accusation. You hesitated. Hinata looked down, almost ashamed. Sasuke, where is this coming all of a sudden? Sasuke paused, remembering his conversation Ino, but that was about a month ago. It's just I want to know, do you? Do you? Hinata asked, looking at him through under her eyelashes. No, Sasuke said with so much confidence something started welling up in Hinata. Now answer my question. No, Hinata said, biting her lip gently. But what? Sasuke asked, eyes narrowing, his eyes slightly. It's just that, Hinata said, looking anywhere but Sasuke. Sometimes I wonder if you want to be in this relationship, if you love me. Why haven't you ever told me this? Sasuke asked as calmly as possible. So Ino wasn't lying, all those romance novels was to fill for the lack of love she felt from me, Sasuke thought to himself, but somewhere deep down he was wishing that Ino hadn't been telling the truth. I didn't want to get you mad at me, Hinata said, still not looking at Sasuke. I would never get mad at you for speaking your mind, Sasuke said, hugging an unsuspecting Hyuga. I have a surprise for you. What is it? Hinata asked, eyes wide with childish excitement. Sasuke chuckled before turning them around and walking towards the cabin. Now close your eyes and promise me you won't peek, Sasuke said as they walked towards the cabin. Okay, promise, Hinata said, nodding with her eyes closed. Sasuke walked towards the cabin, carefully guiding Hinata. When he reached the cabin, he opened the door with one hand, the other on her waist. He directed her into the cabin, following her and closing the door behind them. Okay, open you eyes, Sasuke whispered, his mouth only inches away from Hinata's ears. Hinata let her eyes slowly flutter open, butterflies dancing in her stomach. Hinata couldn't help but gasp out at when she saw the room she was in. It was like something from one of her many romance novels. Candles were lit all over the room, each a different color, each with an amazing smell that blended together perfectly. Then the fireplace that was brightly lit with the fire dancing around, many comforters and pillows in front of it, and to the side Hinata spotted her favorite food, cinnamon rolls, and a pot of tea. Everything looked so perfect and romantic. Hinata turned around to look at Sasuke, her face lighting up with a huge smile. Sasuke, did you do this for me? Who else? Sasuke said, leaning down gently to kiss Hinata on the lips. Now do you believe me when I say I love you? Hinata felt tears prickle her eyes before jumping, Sasuke hugging him like her life depended on it. Of course yes, and I'm sorry I ever doubted you. I love you too so much, Sasuke, Hinata said. Hinata then pulled away to look at Sasuke before shyly pecking him on the lips, only to have Sasuke deepen the kiss, and soon the little kiss became a heated and passionate kiss of two young lovers. I walked out of the art shop, still able to hear Deidara and Sasori arguing. Deidara introduced me to Sasori a few weeks ago, and I found that just like Deidara, he was an artist and sometimes could be really cold and mean, but when it come to Deidara Ni-san, he was really sweet. Sometimes I wonder if that's how love is really like. But anyways, the three of us have been hanging out a lot for the last couple of weeks, and I'm starting to feel like a third wheel, even though Ni-san says I'm not. I think he's just trying to be nice. I looked around the mall, seeing all the flashy Christmas lights and decorations. The people trudging around with bags looking like a pack mules, friends and family members walking around laughing, kids running around playing, and some singing Christmas carols, not to mention all the lovely couples. Everything and everyone seemed to be in the holiday spirit, well, everyone except me. I felt so out of place, but I plastered a smile on my face walking with the rest of the oh so jolly looking people, plus my psychologist, or Miss Abe. My psychologist said I should look at my life or situation with a positive outlook. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not starting to like or even warm up to these therapy sessions. It's just that after each sessions Miss Abe talks to my mom and the last thing I need is for her to tell my mom that I was suffering from depression, which I'm not, but better safe than sorry I me. With all my rambling I ended up hitting something hard to which knocked me down hard. I groaned, rubbing my head, which hurt a lot. I glanced up and instead of seeing a wall like I expected, I saw a boy, no teenage man, and a hot one too. He was tall with a nice build, dirty blonde hair and light green eyes that were filled with worry. His face was chiseled, but the softness of his eyes and his small nose made him look cute. "Are you okay?" he asked, and I realized he was slightly bent down and that I must have been staring at him like an idiot, probably drooling too. I blushed bright red, quickly standing up, but as I did I hit his head, so now we were both on our knees clutching our heads. I groaned out in pain. I swear if I keep on hitting my head like this I could forget about remembering anything. I am so sorry, I swear I didn't mean to into it's just that there was so much on my mind and I got lost in thought, forgetting I was walking, and now you must be like super pissed at me. And I kept rambling till the dirty blonde-haired teenager grabbed her hands, which made me blush and automatically shut up. "It's okay," he said in a reassuring voice which made me slightly calm down. "If anything I should have been the one paying attention," he said, helping me stand up. "Well, I'm sorry again," I said, but noticed that he was still holding my hand and didn't look like to be letting go anytime soon. "Well, I should also apologize as well, so how about I do that with hot cocoa?" he said, smiling at me. I blushed slightly. Well, I don't really talk to strangers, much less let them buy me hot cocoa," I said rather lamely. "Well then, my name is Sato Jun," he said, bowing slightly and kissing my hand, which made me blush. "And you would be?" he asked, looking at me with sparkling green eyes. "Yumenka Ino," I stuttered out. "Well, Miss Ino," he said, standing up. "Now that we're no longer strangers, how does some cocoa sound right about now?" I nodded numbly, not trusting my voice and letting myself be dragged away by this teen I just meet, this amazingly charming teen, I might add. Time skip. Me and Jun were sitting on one of the many mall benches watching as the happy jolly people come and go while drinking hot cocoa, both of us quite. "I really hate Christmas," Jun said, which surprised me since we haven't spoken since we bought cocoa. "Really?" I said, truly surprised. "I don't think I've ever met anyone who hates Christmas." Jun looked at me with a raised eyebrow. "Don't think." Well," I stuttered out, blushing, realizing my mistake. "It's just that I lost my memories a few months ago and I still can't remember much." This was the first time I ever told anyone this. Jun smiled brightly at me. "I knew there was something interesting about you when I saw you." "Interesting?" I asked questioningly, not knowing if I should take that as an insult or compliment. Jun scooted over to me, I mean very close over to me, where he was in my personal bubble, and I started to feel uncomfortable, but there was no space to scoot over. Jun touched my cheek and for some reason made me flinch. "Ino, if I told you I could help you get your memory back, would you trust me?" he said in a voice like he was promising a child something. I looked at him in the eyes, blushing, and something in me was telling me not to trust him no matter what, that I should run, but his proposition was oh so very tempting. "Why should I trust you?" I asked quietly in an unsure voice. He started to laugh. "Give me a good reason for you not to." "Well, there's still a fact that you're a stranger," I said back. "Good enough," Jun said, smirking while digging for something in his pocket. He took out a white card and set it on my lap. "And when you change your mind, call me," and with that he got up and disappeared into the crowd of happy shoppers. I sighed, looking down at the white piece of paper on my lap with nicely written numbers. I shook my head. "No, Ino, you can't trust people so easily, that's bad," I scowled at myself. "Hey Ino-chan," I heard the familiar yell that made my heart flutter and my face burn red. I turned to see Naruto running towards me, a big smile on his face. He stopped in front of me, hands on his knees, huffing and puffing. "Hey Naruto-kun," I said, smiling softly, all previous thoughts of the mystery-like boy gone. Naruto looked up at me, smiling brightly. "Hey Ino-chan, who are you here with?" Didara ni-san and Sasori-kun, but they started fighting, so I decided to just go for a walk," I said. "Ah," Naruto said, nodding. "Well, I'm here with Sakura-chan, helping her with dress shopping." At the mention of Sakura's name my face instantly fell, but Naruto didn't seem to see, which I was thankful for. Oh well, I hope you're having fun. Loads of it, Naruto said, grinning. Hey, how about if you join us? I quickly shook my head. No, it's alright, I wouldn't want to intrude, I said as calmly as possible. Plus, I don't know in what state of mind she's in right now. She could try to run me over with a sled for all I know, I thought silently. Naruto nodded. Well, I gotta go, see you around, he said and took off running. Oh, and happy holidays, he yelled before he disappeared into the crowd. I sighed, my mind now back on Jun. It seems like everyone's too busy with their own life to help me figure out mine's, and it wouldn't hurt if I did ask him to help me regain my memory. I took out my cell phone, picked up the piece of white paper and was ready to dial his number. No need to do so, darling, came a voice, and I jumped around to see Jun leaning against the bench casually. How long have you been there? I demanded angrily. A while, Jun replied, smirking. But that's not important. What is whether you're taking up my proposition or not, he asked, sticking his hands out for me to take. I gulped, trying to get the lump out of my throat before hesitantly taking his hand. I accept your proposition, I said so quietly that I didn't think he heard me. But the smirk he was giving me told me otherwise. Making a deal with the devil was the phrase that popped to mind. Ino walked through the snow-covered park. How she got there or what time it was, she had no idea. All this was lost to her, as if she was missing a big part of her life that felt important and at the same time had no importance or meaning at all. All she knew was that she was freezing cold to the point of being numb and blue. Her whole face was a rosy shade of red. Dried tear streaks ran down her face, as she fought to keep awake and from dropping down into the cold blanket of snow that looked so inviting at the moment. Ino tried calling out, not sure to who but hoping that someone could hear her. When she tried speaking, it came out a choked sob of a frog, all screechy like she hadn't spoken in years. Finally Ino just plumped down on a bench, ignoring the coldness. Her head felt dizzy and ached as if someone had been beating against it all night, and she couldn't help the tears that she cried, the tears that felt so empty and cold as the snow she was surrounded by. The blonde opened her eyes, seeing something that made them go wide. How she hadn't noticed it before was a surprise. The snow was tainted bright red, with bright red blood. Everywhere there were footprints of blood that led to every which way, leaving their mark on the beautiful pure snow and then just disappeared. The blood pooled around Ino, but she couldn't find the source. Then that's when she noticed her hands were sticky. She looked down to see her hands stained with fresh blood. The sight and smell repulsed her. She wanted to throw up but couldn't. She couldn't do anything but stare down at the blood, letting the tears fall down. Ino! Naruto yelled, running over to a blonde-haired girl who sat on a bench surrounded by snow. Please don't do it. Do what? Asked the blonde girl, looking up confused. Don't leave for Jun, stay here with me, Naruto said in a pleading voice. Ino cocked her head to the side. Jun, why would I leave with Jun? You said you loved him and wanted to be with him forever, Naruto said with sad eyes. Then his eyes got wide. Why are you crying? I don't know, Ino whispered. I don't know anything. What do you mean you don't know anything? Asked Naruto, sounding confused as well. I don't know anything, and I don't know who you are or what you're talking about, Ino said, finally whipping her tears away and in the process smearing blood on her face. Then a thought popped into her mind. Didn't he see the blood that covered everywhere, the bright red blood that stuck out? So you don't remember me? Naruto asked in a broken voice. Before Ino could reply, someone else did for her. No, she doesn't, so get lost, Uzumaki, she's better off without you. Both blondes turned around to see another teenager with dirty blonde hair and light green eyes. Jun, Ino said, sounding surprised. Yes, Ino dear, Jun answered, going over to Ino, taking her hand so she could stand up as he put his arms around her waist. Am I the only one who sees it? Thought Ino, silently staring down at her hands, and that's when she noticed her feet and pants were covered with blood as well. Wait, so you remember him but not me? Naruto said, pointing an accusing finger at Ino. I don't know, Ino said, hiding her head in Jun's chest as tears started to well up in her eyes. I don't know, she sobbed out, the blood momentarily forgotten as her heart started to feel heavy. Look what you did, Jun said, patting Ino's head in a comforting way. I didn't do anything, Naruto yelled, shaking with anger. This is all your fault, you should have just stayed away from her. She wanted to be with me, Jun shot back. If she asked me to leave I would have, but she never did. You're just jealous. Why would I be jealous? Naruto seethed. I don't you tell me, Naru-kun, Jun teased. Shut up you bastard, Naruto yelled. Shut the hell up and stay away from. Stop it, Ino yelled, still crying. Just please stop yelling at each other. Shish, Jun silently comforted. Come on, let's go my dear Ino, and with that Jun started walking away with her. Ino turned around, her vision blurry from the tears. Ino. Naruto yelled, trying to reach the girl, but he was unable to move. Naruto. The words left Ino's lips before she could even realize what she was saying as her and Jun walked farther and farther away from the tan blonde. Such beautiful eyes, were Ino's last thoughts before Naruto seemed to disappear along with the snow. As Ino and Jun walked down the snow-covered path, the snow seemed to be falling heavier and the wind blowing colder, but after a while all Ino could see was red, bright red. What's wrong? Jun asked, turning back to look at Ino, who had stopped frozen in place. Don't you see it? She asked in a panicky voice. It's everywhere, all red so much. Shish, Jun said in a soothing voice. Don't be scared, just come with me, I'll protect you, love. Ino seemed to stop breathing when he called her love. She didn't know what she was supposed to do. Some part of her wanted to turn around and find those beautiful blue eyes, but she couldn't. She was too scared. The blood surrounded her all around. Ino started to breathe heavily and couldn't control the shaking she felt. Her vision started to see red spots. The last thing she heard was Jun's voice, but what she saw were those beautiful blue eyes, the eyes that she loved so much, and with that Ino silently trudged through the snow-covered streets, past all the stores that were either closed for the holidays or opened and cheery. Ino sighed in an overly dramatic way. Something was bothering her, more precisely a certain dream she had the night before. I must be so vain, that's it, she tried to convince herself. I mean, really having a dream of Naruto and Jun fighting over me, unbelievable. Ino. The blonde heard someone calling her name, an all too familiar voice of the one person Ino was always happy to hear from, except for today, of course. The blonde girl picked up her pace, ducking her head and pushing by especially busy streets, silently praying that he didn't catch up on her. But sadly luck was never on her side, because if it was, she wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. A big hand grabbed her shoulders, turning her around. Hey Ino-chan, didn't you hear me calling you? Asked the person. Sorry Naruto-kun, Ino said quietly, not wanting to look into those blue eyes, and for a moment she wondered if she was a good liar or not. Then she thought again why she would want to lie. I really didn't hear you. Oh well, it's pretty noisy out here, Naruto said, looking around. Hey, wanna help me find a Christmas gift for my mom like you always do? I can't, Ino said, but she made the fatal mistake of glancing up at Naruto. Seeing his disappointed blue eyes made her want to instantly apologize and say, yes, but she held her ground. I mean, I would love to, but I have a therapy session to get to. Oh well, okay, and good luck, Naruto said, smiling brightly, giving Ino a hug before walking away. Ino continued walking, feeling slightly disgusted at herself and how easy it was to lie to Naruto. It made her wonder how many times she's done it before. Then again, she'd still be lying to him for not ever telling him how she truly feels. I really hate the holidays. That thought suddenly popped into Ino's head out of nowhere, sounding so familiar, but truthfully she did feel a deep hate for the perfectly white pure snow, the people and the decorations. It just disgusted her beyond reason. The blonde took a deep breath, and instantly blushed bright red. She could smell him on her. His stench was so strong, instantly invading her nose, not only making it tingle, but she could start feeling her whole body get warm and tingly. He smelled like ramen, which was no surprise since Hinata had once told Ino that Naruto ate ramen like most people breathed air, but this scent was amazing. It just didn't smell of ramen, but something warm that made Ino feel safe and without a care in the world. Finally, how long were you gonna make me wait for? Said a voice that made Ino jump, leaving her fantasy to see green eyes staring down at her. Sorry about that, she said, hopping. He didn't know what she was doing just a second ago. Whatever, let's just go inside, Jun said, taking Ino's hands, dragging her inside a coffee shop, bookstore that looked for some reason oddly familiar to Ino. Ino and Jun walked to the back of the bookstore taking a seat with their order of coffee, both very quiet the whole time. Ino quietly sipped her hot cocoa with fat-free cream. Her eyes traveled around the corner of the bookstore cafe they were in. She looked at everything but avoided meeting Jun's eyes or even looking at him, period. Is he your boyfriend? Came a voice, making the blonde girl jump from surprise and look at the boy sitting in front of her, but when she said nothing, Jun continued, is he your boyfriend, that blonde guy from the mall? You saw that? Ino stuttered out, blushing bright red, and when Jun nodded his head it only made it worse. He's my best friend and my other friend's boyfriend, Ino said, not knowing why she said Sakura was her friend, but then again they must have had been friends at one point. The way you looked at him, it doesn't seem as if you only think of him as a friend, Jun said. Who are you to judge me on how I look at people? Ino said, getting defensive, which caused Jun to start laughing and Ino to look away feeling pathetic. I'm a truthful person, Jun started, and the way I see it is that if you don't accept your feelings and what's going on now, then I'll never be able to help you, remember. Who are you and why do you want to help me? Ino asked the question she should have asked from the second he gave her the proposition. Jun smirked. It wasn't an overconfident, arrogant, I'm better than you smirk. No, it was a teasing smirk, one that said I know something you don't. Catch, he said, throwing one of his marshmallows in the air, and Ino moved her head up to catch it as if on instinct. Ino looked down, blushing as the marshmallow started to melt in her mouth. She could taste the soft cream. This is good. I knew you'd like it, Jun said, standing up. Well, let's go, he said as he made his way towards the door. Ino sat there blinking for a minute before what he said was registered into her mind, and she quickly got up to follow. Ino and Jun walked down the street in a quieter part of town. Where are we going? Ino finally asked, catching up to the older guy. Jun looked at Ino straight in the eyes, which caused the younger to start shifting uncomfortable. Do you trust me? Ino shook her head. No. Are you scared of me? Jun asked. Ino looked up in surprise. Why would I be scared of you? Why are children afraid of the dark? Jun asked back, his gaze not wavering from Ino. Stop that, Ino said angrily. Stop what? Jun asked. I was only asking you a question. Stop playing those mind games, Ino said angrily. Why can't you just give me a straight answer? Jun chuckled as he continued to walk away. I enjoy hearing what I think, happy. What do you mean? You enjoy hearing what I think? Ino asked, running to catch up to the taller boy. Maybe one day you'll understand, Jun said, not looking at Ino. Ino started to fume. She hated. That's not fair. I mean, he made come all the way here, have coffee, ask about Naruto, say some weird things, then leave and expect me to follow him. Now he has the nerve to treat me like a child. We're here. Jun's voice broke through Ino's ranting. Ino looked up to see they were in front of an old antique store that was probably the only place in this whole street that wasn't decorated to fit Christmas. What are we doing here? I need to pick up a package, Jun said, walking up the staircase. You stay out here, I'll be right back. Ino nodded, though it didn't matter since he couldn't see her. The blonde girl turned around, leaning against the store railing, closing her eyes and taking deep breaths. She could imagine herself taking a hot bath tonight and getting the hell out of the cold. Blue eyes opened and stared wide-eyed, full of sadness, and as much as Ino wanted to look away she couldn't. Her eyes were glued to the scene in front of her. You know, a friend doesn't look with that look of jealousy when she sees that friend kissing his girlfriend, whispered Jun in Ino's ears, making the poor girl jump in surprise and look away from Naruto, who was currently in a hot lip lock with Sakura. I'm not jealous, just a little taken aback, Ino said, not daring to look back at the couple or Jun. Jun shrugged his shoulders, walking down the street from where they came from. What's in the package? Ino asked, a little curious. It's a secret, Jun said, smirking down at her. Let me borrow your cell phone. Ah, sure, Ino said, quickly pulling her phone out of her pocket and handing it to Jun. Jun typed something quickly on the cell phone, smirking. Let's go, I want to show you something. Naruto's POV. I was sitting outside of a small cafe with Sakura, my girlfriend. We just had a hot make-out session and everything should be great, but it's not. For some reason I couldn't get Ino out of my mind. There was just something about seeing her this morning that seemed so off. Naruto, what are you thinking about? Sakura asked. Oh, nothing much, it's just Ino. I started but was cut off. You were thinking about Ino? Sakura exclaimed, sounding more mad than jealous. Yeah, it's just that I saw her this morning and she'd been acting weird, I said. So remember what happened a few years ago? Does it really matter? She'll get through it, no big deal, Sakura said. How could you say that? I said angrily. She's our best friend and got hurt, but you're here talking about it like it's nothing. What if she really never does remember, then what? No. She's your best friend, not mine. She's just a. Sakura paused, all red-faced, staring me down angrily, and I knew there was only one road this would turn down, ugly, but then she surprised me. Sakura took a deep breath, taking her purse and standing up. You know, forget it, Naruto, just forget it, she said, walking away, but before she did, she said something that haunted me. Just remember who your girlfriend is and who broke your heart, it'll do you good, and with that she was gone. Believe it. My phone started to ring. I took it, seeing I got a new text message. Meet me at the abandoned park in an hour, it really important. Ino. The abandoned park, I haven't been there in such a long time, but then Ajin, it's no surprise she'd remember where it was. Do you remember a few years ago? Sakura's voice came back to me. Yes, I clearly remembered that day like a bad nightmare. It still haunted me sometimes, and this wasn't making it any better, not at all. Jun and Ino kept walking till there wasn't any more decorations and then no other people at all. This started to make Ino feel uneasy, like she was in a scary movie and that she was being brought to her death. Jun, where are we going? Where? Here. Here where? What am I supposed to be looking at? This, Ino dear, is the old, abandoned park, Jun said, taking Ino's hand and brining her to sit at the only bench there was. Ino looked around. Something about this scene gave her a strange feeling of deja vu. She looked around to see a completely empty land that went on for probably miles on. The snow covered the ground like a blanket, a soft, inviting blanket. Ino felt her throat get dry and her breathing start to get harder. This was all too familiar. Why do they call this the abandoned park? Well, that's just what it is. A long time ago it was a really popular park that everyone came to, but over time this place lost its popularity. Another park was built and this bench was the only thing left of it, Jun explained. Ino nodded. That explained the name, but not why. This looked like the exact place of her vain dream, the park that's by my house. That exact park. You know, Ino, it's sad to go from one day everyone loving you to being hated, Jun said, looking Ino straight in the eyes. When one day everything seemed so perfect, but only to find out it was all never real, that you were being lied to. Ino felt a lump in her throat get bigger as she stared back into Jun's eyes that seemed to be darkening. What do you mean? I mean that, not everything's as it seems, my dear, Jun said, brushing a stray hair out of Ino's face. You never know what to expect in life. This park didn't want to be abandoned, but it was left behind without a second thought. Jun continued to touch Ino's cheek ever so softly. And when you hurt one person, you feel the need to hurt someone else. That's how the cycle of hate starts, and before you know it, you're the very definition of cruelty, but there will always be someone looking to bring you down. Ino gulped, moving away from Jun's touch that even in the freezing cold felt too cold to be humanly possible against her skin. I don't understand. It's not meant for you to understand. Then what's it meant for? Jun didn't answer. He sat there smirking, eyes gleaming brightly. Then he did something completely unexpected that made Ino's whole world stop. He kissed her on the lips, a full mouth-to-mouth kiss, and Ino didn't know what to do, so she just sat there till she heard gasping, a person that wasn't her. Ino quickly pushed Jun away and turned to see the last person in the world she wanted to see in this situation. Naruto. Ino sat there frozen in shock, not knowing what to do. This was so much like her dream. She half expected to look down and see herself covered in blood. Naruto stopped over to Ino, roughly grabbing her by the arm and glaring at Jun with pure hate. What the hell do you think you're doing? What? I was just spending the day with dear Ino-chan. Is that a crime? Jun asked casually, sitting back in the bench like nothing just happened. I'm not going to tell you this again. Stay away from her, you bastard. Ouch, Naru-kun, such hurtful words, Jun said, touching his heart. Anyways, Ino wanted to come with me. I mean, someone has to tell her the truth. What truth? Ino finally spoke up, seeming to get out of her dazed state. Nothing, Naruto hissed out, glaring at Jun before dragging Ino away. Wait, tell me, what are you two talking about? Ino demanded, trying to get out of Naruto's grip, but he overpowered her. Yes, Naru-kun, why don't you tell our dear Ino the truth? Jun yelled from behind them. Don't listen to him, Naruto said, steps quickening. Ino, when you wanna find out the truth, don't worry, just come to me, dear, I'll be waiting, Jun yelled, but by now Ino and Naruto were already out of sight, but he knew they could hear him still. Ino's head hurt. The truth, what is the truth? What am I not being told? What are you hiding, Naruto? Those thoughts started to whirl in her head. For once she truly didn't know, but truly did want to find out, no matter the cost. Time skip. Naruto, tell me what you're not telling me, Ino demanded for the millionth time as Naruto pulled his car into the Yamanka driveway. Ino, please, Naruto said, stomping on the brakes, sending the unsuspecting Ino fly forward. I'm sorry, but please just drop it. Ino didn't know if he was apologizing for sending her flying or not telling the truth, but she didn't care at the moment. No, tell me, Ino demanded. I can't, Naruto chalked out. You can't or you won't. Ino, just please drop it. Jun is a liar. Who would you believe, me or him? He asked, looking at her straight in the eye with those beautiful pleading blue eyes. Ino swallowed the lump in her throat, guilt instantly washing over her, forever doubting him, but at the same time she wanted more than anything to know what was going on, what was being hidden from her. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, for ever doubting you, Ino said, forcing on a smile. It's alright, Naruto said, leaning over to give her a tight hug. Just do me a favor and stay away from Jun. Okay, Ino said, quickly turning around to unlock the door, but Naruto had grabbed her arm before she could fully get out of the car. Ino, will you please meet me at the community center on New Year's? Okay. Isn't it closed for the holidays? Just trust me, okay, and come, Naruto said, grinning, blue eyes shining, all previous discussions forgotten. Sure, Ino said, unable to look at Naruto in the eyes, afraid he would see the truth in her or she would lose her resolve. Bye, she said, slamming the car door, running up to the front porch, not once daring to look back. Hey sweetheart, want to help your mama clean up? I finally got the tree decorated, Era said as soon as Ino stepped into the house. Hey sweetheart, want to help your mama clean up? I finally got the tree decorated, Era said as soon as Ino stepped into the house. Era stood atop of a step ladder. Boxes surrounded the living room, a massive Christmas tree that was decorated brightly in different colors. Sorry mom, I have homework to do, Ino said, not waiting for a response as she ran upstairs to her room. When Ino reached her room, she shut the door behind her, sighing, feeling as if the weight of the world just evaporated in the sanctuary of her bedroom. Naruto's Pav. The blonde teenage boy walked into his house, sighing heavily as he dropped his book bag on the floor and plopping down onto a chair in the dining room that was connected to the kitchen. What's wrong? Natsuki asked, walking into the kitchen, seeing her soon with his head on the table, a bad moody vibe flowing off from him. You're reminding me of the Grinch who stole Christmas. Not funny mom, Naruto murmured, not lifting his head to look up. I'm not trying to be funny, Natsuki said, taking a seat next to her son with 2 mugs of hot cocoa. It's Ino, Naruto said depressingly as he gratefully took the hot cocoa. Oh dear, is she okay? Did something happen? Natsuki asked, worried. No, nothing happened. Well, Naruto said, it's just that I was remembering what happened a few years ago, and then I saw Jun with her and he started yelling about telling her the truth. Ah, Naruto, it's so sweet how much you care about Ino, Natsuki said, putting her hand on top of her son's, but Ino's a big girl and has every right to know the truth. You can't always protect her. You live and you learn, and if Ino's going to get through this, you have to let her learn, not run to her at every sign of harm in her way. I know. No buts, Natsuki said, firmly standing up. I'm not telling you that you have to tell her, but she has every right to know the truth. Naruto sighed. You're not helping, just tell me what to do. I could, but where would you lesson be learned? Just follow your gut and do what you think is right, even if it's not, Natsuki said, putting her reddish blonde hair into a ponytail. Okay, now I need to make 1,000 cookies for the food shelter. Christmas is in 3 days and we need to start spreading the holiday joy, so cheer up and grab an apron. Netsuke didn't let her son respond before grabbing and dragging him to the kitchen, giving him a pink apron. The two began singing Christmas carols off key and making a complete mess, but that was part of the holiday joy at the Uzumaki household, plus it got Naruto's mind off two blondes in a pinkett. Other side of Konoha, outside a 24-hour drug store. So he knows you here? Asked a feminine voice sounding slightly mad. Yes, my dear, the male voice said, tracing the female's cheek, but I'm rather surprised that you called me. Do you care to explain? Don't call me dear or touch me, the female said, slapping his hands away, glaring. I prefer mines with an attitude. You too feisty for me. I'm too feisty and you've been going after Ino all this time. Don't make me laugh, you know what I really want. She was just there to entertain while I planned to get what I really wanted, but I have to admit she was and still is rather fun to play with. Enough of this, I don't care what you think, but this wasn't my plan. It's all too soon, the feminine voice said, irritated. Don't worry, this is going all according to my plan. I put on quite a show too, plus this is around the time it happened all those years ago, the guy said, smirking, and it's quite a surprise it happening all over again. Just shut up. Don't mess this up and make me regret calling you, the girl said, glaring. Trust me, you won't, but when my dear Ino-chan finds out, she'll probably flee town and Naru-kun will be left sad and lonely once again, the guy said. He'll be so heartbroken. Ino's a truly cruel person, the way she keeps breaking his heart. I really don't care about you rambling, all I want is Sasuke and nothing less, the girl said. So I see, still obsessed with the Uchiha who, the guy said, more than asked. You should have gotten over him a long time ago, it's unhealthy. I'm not obsessed. It's called love, the girl said, clenching her fist. Anyways, what about you and your fantasy love obsession that will never come true? Ouch, the guy said, touching his heart. How cruel, that stung. The girl rolled her eyes. Just don't mess up, and with that she walked away. Back with Ino. Ino sat at her bedroom desk and, not wanting to be a complete liar, tried to start on her math homework. Keyword tried, but how could anybody do any homework when their mind was spinning like crazy and had no plans of stopping anytime soon? Knock knock. Someone knocked on the door but didn't wait for her to let them in as they came in on their own. Eggnog, anyone? Deidara sang loudly as he entered the room, two mugs in his hands. He placed one in Ino's lap before taking a seat on her bed with his own mug. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, No, I just finished up, Ino said, closing her math book and stretching to make it look like she had been working hard and not had been off somewhere in space. This is really good day, ni. I put something in it to give it an extra kick, if you know what I mean, Deidara said, winking. Ino nodded for some odd reason, knowing exactly what he was talking about. Hey Day, had anyone ever lied to you before? Ino needed someone to talk to and figured her brother was as good a person as anyone else. Well, yeah, Deidara said. Everyone lies. Why? Everyone lies. I lied to Naruto and maybe a bunch of other people I don't remember, Ino thought. It's just that what would you do if you know someone was lying to you but there was a way to find out the truth? Would you take the risk? Well, depends how much I wanna know the truth, Deidara said. Where's this coming from anyways, Just some thoughts, Ino said quietly, thinking about what she was going to do. Christmas Day. Ino sighed, not in the holiday cheer even if it was Christmas morning, as she opened another bag of clothing. So far she had 5 jeans, 3 skirts, 6 shirts, 1 very expensive looking dress and a whole beauty set. Christmas at the Yamanka house was rather lively, with Era bouncing around like a 6-year-old, taking pictures at everything. She was high with the Christmas spirit. Inoichi sat on the big brown leather couch with the footstool. He was already on his 6th cup of eggnog. This is perfect, Deidara said, unwrapping a big box. This will really help for going back to college. Wait, you're in college? Ino asked, surprised. Yeah, I just took a year off to do it over the computer because. Deidara stopped, wide-eye as if realizing he just said something he wasn't supposed to. Son, are you ready for our yearly hiking trip? Inoichi jumped in as he and Deidara were now having a conversation like they weren't trying to avoid the previous one. Hun, the cookies are done, want some? Era asked, smiling, holding out a tray of cookies. No thanks, Mom. Ino said, gathering her things. I'm still full from breakfast, so I'm just going to put these in my room, she said, heading upstairs. It wasn't a complete lie, they had a huge breakfast, but something was bothering the young blonde. Her family was acting weird. Ino walked into her room, arranging all her clothes in her closet before taking a seat on her bed and picking up her cell phone. She found the number she was looking for. Jun's. Ino wanted to call but couldn't bring herself to do so, like she was betraying Naruto. Ino sighed, dropping her phone. Why can't life be easier? Ino walked down the stairs, but something felt wrong. Everything was silent. Too silent for the happy, loud family she had left downstairs with Christmas carols in the background. Ino stuck her head around the corner to see all three other blondes in her family, to see they were all sitting close together whispering. You almost slipped, Era said, pointing an accusing finger at Deidara. Deidara looked down. I know, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It just happened. Come on, sweetheart, Inoichi said, taking his wife in his arms. Don't be mad at the boy, this is hard on all of us. I think we should tell her, Deidara said, looking up. We should tell her the truth, no more cover-ups. No, Era screeched, standing up, tears brimming her eyes. End of discussion. And with that she stomped off to the kitchen, passing where her blonde daughter was hiding. Deidara sighed. Can't blame me for trying. Guess not, Inoichi said, but you mom's still sensitive about this whole ordeal. Yeah, but Ino, she was asking strange questions last night. Deidara said hesitantly. So, Inoichi started. Ino didn't stay to finish listening, she had already heard enough. The blonde teen made a mad dash to her room, locking the door, jumping on her bed as she fiddled with her phone, unable to hold it properly due to her shaking hands. They're lying to me too. My family, Dei ni, everyone has been lying to me, but Jun's willing to tell me the truth, and even if it's not, what's one more lie to add to an overflowing pool of them? Ino looked down, about to dial a number, when her phone started to ring with the exact one she was about to dial. His timing is amazing, she thought, hesitantly pressing the talk button. Merry Christmas, the male voice came from the other side of the line, but it wasn't Mary, more along the lines of sarcasm. Jun, I said in a small voice, not knowing what to say now that he was on the phone. I want. Please, You want to know the truth? Jun said, not sounding surprised. What took you so long, Ino dear? Ino didn't reply, she didn't know how to. Will you tell me? Jun chuckled. Sorry dear, I can't tell you this over the phone, it'll have to be in person. When? How about New Year's night? New Year's night, Ino said worriedly. That was the time she was supposed to meet up with Naruto. Yes, do you have a problem with that? Jun asked ever so calmly. It's just that I have plans, Ino trailed off, not wanting to go into specifics. Oh well, then I guess you don't want the truth, dear, Jun said carelessly, but if you do change your mind, meet me at the abandoned park, and with that he hung up. Ino sighed, falling back on her bed. Hours late, now what? I have an opportunity to find out the truth, but I would have to cancel on Naruto and sneak off to see Jun when I told him I wouldn't. Not only am I a liar but also a bad friend. Ino turned around on her bed, blonde hair messy, head pounding. She hadn't bothered to come out of her room since talking to Jun. Hours later. Knock knock. Ino groaned, not wanting to talk to anyone, family included. Ino, you didn't come to dinner? Ara's soft motherly voice came from the other side of the door. I wasn't hungry, Ino replied. Please open up. I don't feel like talking. Ara's footsteps could be heard as she walked away, and all was quiet for a while before Ino's doorknob started moving and her door was swung open. Ara standing there, a key in her hands. I said I didn't want to talk to anyone, Ino said from her bed, eyes narrowed. Ara sighed. I know, but this is important, she said, stepping into the room, closing the door behind her. The older woman sighed deeply. I need to tell you something, the truth. Ino looked at her mom, wide-eyed. Could this be the truth that she'd been waiting for? She didn't need to go to Jun anymore because her mom would tell her and everything would be alright and she wouldn't be in the dark. Ino practically leaned off her bed waiting, anticipating not being able to hold the excitement in. Tell me. Era sighed deeply, looking as if someone had stabbed her. Just remember that no matter what, that I love you, okay hun? Ino gulped. It was never a good thing when someone said that. No matter what happens, I love you. The blonde started to doubt whether she wanted to know. Okay, I know, just tell me. Era sighed again as if she was trying to delay this whole thing. She was regretting coming. I just want to say I wanted to wait after the holidays, but you dad and brother say you have the right to know. Ino was ready to shout at her mother to tell her what the truth was. She couldn't wait, but what she heard next made her whole world stop. She couldn't breathe, hear, see nor feel. She was beyond the word of surprise. There's a chance that you're not my real daughter. Ino paced at her front door. It was New Year's night. Didero was at Sasori's house. Era and Inoichi were at a Christmas party at a friend's place, and Naruto was more than likely waiting for her at the community center. Everyone was celebrating, happy for the new year to come in, everyone except a certain blonde-haired girl. I hate my life. Ino groaned out. Now I have to add not being my parents' actual child, but also I need to find out the truth from Jun because Naruto refuses to tell me. This is going to be some year. I sighed, walking out the front door, surprised that it wasn't freezing like I expected it to be. It was actually nice with the breeze but no snow. I decided to catch the first bus I could find to downtown, since the walk there would not only be too long but also dangerous. I walked onto the 77th bus, which was pretty much empty except for a select few, which sadly were happy couples. The blonde took a seat all the way in the back, the memory of her mother's confession coming back to her. Flashback. Era sighed again as if she was trying to delay this whole thing. She was regretting coming. I just want to say I wanted to wait after the holidays, but you dad and brother say you have the right to know. Ino was ready to shout at her mother to tell her what the truth was. She couldn't wait, but what she heard next made her whole world stop. She couldn't breathe, hear, see nor feel. She was beyond the word of surprise. There's a chance that you're not my real daughter. Ino, before you react, please listen to me, Era said gently, taking a seat next to her daughter. Ino numbly nodded, not trusting her voice. Okay, so when you were checked into the hospital, they went over your medical records and saw there might be a very good possibility that, well, you know, Era said, not wanting to repeat her earlier words. Ino's eyes went wide, staring at her mother in what seemed to be shocked mixed with horror. So you knew all these months and didn't tell me, she said in an airy voice as if she was breathless. You knew all this time and didn't tell me. Ino's voice rose along with her anger towards her mother. No, Era said frantically, trying to calm her daughter. I just found out a few weeks ago, and trust me, it hasn't been easy on me either. Finding out the daughter I've been raising for 18 years was not mine. Ino sighed heavily, trying to calm herself down. Okay, so supposedly, if you're not actually my mother, then who is? Ino asked, giving a long pause. Who's my family? Who's your real daughter? Well, I did some research and found out that your real parents are farmers that live in southern Konoha. I also heard they're really nice people, Era quickly added, seeing her daughter's horrified face. And as for my real daughter, I heard she was a really charming young lady by the name of Anne, Era added. So what happens now? Ino asked worriedly, afraid that she would have to leave her family and go to another one before she even remembers. For now, nothing. We're still waiting for the test results. Era looked at her daughter tiredly before leaning down and giving the younger girl a hug. Sweetheart, just remember one thing. No matter what happens, you're still my baby girl, okay? Ino hesitated before leaning into her mother's touch. Okay. End of flashback. Yo, came a girly voice, making Ino jump from where she was sitting. Hi, Ino said, glancing at the girl with dark blue hair with bright red highlights and light knowing brown eyes. She looked to be around Ino's age, wearing a colorful tight long-sleeved blouse, short black skirt with high heels with black fingerless gloves. Ino couldn't help but stare at the girl, wondering if the girl's legs weren't freezing off. I'm Miyako, but everyone calls me Miko, the girl said happily, shaking Ino's hands. And you're Ino? Yumenka Ino. Shocked blue eyes looked at happy brown eyes. How did you know my name? I'm psychic, telepathic, oh, and I can see auras, Miko said as if it was the simplest and most normalist thing to go up and tell someone. Ino held her head. Okay, now I'm seeing strange girls who are telling me weird things. How messed up am I? You're not seeing or hearing things, and no, you're not crazy, just lost and confused, Ino-chan, the blue-haired girl said, smiling. Ino was about to ask how she knew what she was thinking when she remembered the psychic powers. Why are you telling me all this? I read your aura and it completely gray, Miko continued at the confused look she was getting from the blonde. Depression, sadness, exhaustion, low energy, skepticism. Any of this ringing a bell? Now that you mention it, I've been feeling out of it. Like really my life's breaking, but the thing is that I don't know what my life is, so how the hell am I supposed to fix it? Ino said, distraught. I know how you feel, trust me, Miko said, giving a gentle smile. But you can't give up hope, you have to keep up your fight, and you're about to make a decision that could affect your whole life. Jun, Ino whispered, looking up at the dark-haired girl through her bangs. Exactly, Miko said, smiling. Remember sometimes that the truth isn't what we always really want, and that knowing the truth could be worse than not knowing. With that, Miko gave Ino a quick hug that filled the blonde with warmth, tingling her body with a veil of white light that erased all self-doubt and worry. But sadly, as soon as the white light came, it disappeared as Miko got up, getting of the bus, disappearing as soon as she came. Normal Pav. Yo Naru, a feminine voice said through a cell phone as she walked down the dark winter night street. Oh my Cammy, the male voice said through the other line, it's really you, wow, it's been like forever. Yeah, I know, I just got back in town today, the feminine voice said, laughing lightly, but you'll never guess who I saw today. Who? I'll let you guess, the girl said in a playful way, tall blonde, blue eyes, oh, and has a memory lost thing going on. Ino, the male said in shocked, she was supposed to meet me here. Yeah, I know, the girl said, you do know where she's going, don't you? This is almost like last year, it's almost a repeat. I know, the male voice said angrily. You should get going, you don't have much time, the girl said. I know, I'm on my way over there, the boy said frantically. Hey, you gonna be there? Nah, don't wanna interfere with this, it really has nothing to do with me, the girl said. Oh, and don't do anything stupid. I won't, the guy said, but it's time to put all of this to an end. Ino had gotten off the bus and was walking the short way towards the abandoned park. Something felt eerie and weird about going there at such a late hour, and to add to that feeling, she had just met a girl who claimed to be physic and knew everything about her. Ino sighed heavily, not wanting to turn around as she entered the park area. She needed to face this and face it now before she lost all her will. I see you've made it, Ino dear, Jun said when Ino arrived in front of the only bench in the park. The blonde girl took a seat on the bench next to Jun, taking deep breaths. Okay, before we start, does the truth have anything to do with me not being my parents' real child? Jun threw his head back, laughing. No, my dear, whatever goes on here has nothing to do with whether or not you're your parents' real child. So what is it then? Ino asked, not being able to take it anymore. She needs to find out, and soon. Over a year ago you had lost your memory. Prior to this, Jun said bluntly. I had lost my memory before. How? When? Ino asked, surprised. In a car accident. It was a head-on collision. Funny it happened around this time of year too, Jun said as if he was telling a new bedtime story to a child. You were unconscious for about a week, and when you woke up didn't remember a thing, didn't know why you were in the hospital. You didn't remember anything about the accident or anything that happened the day before the accident. Did I ever remember? No. Everyone thought it would be better if you didn't remember. Light green eyes stared into baby blue. Everyone thought you'd be happier, but I guess none of us planned that you would get in another accident. Jun reached over, playing with Ino's hair. Did you know, my dear, we used to go out, that you were my girlfriend and completely adored me? Ino gasped in shock, not believing it. Me and you, we used to. Yeah, hard to believe, huh? But it doesn't matter, I never did love you nor cared for you in the first place. You were more of a play toy, a distraction, Jun said simply. When one day everything seems so perfect but only to find out it was all never real, that you were being lied to, Ino whispered the same words that Jun had told her the first day at the park. Blue eyes went wide, feeling as if someone was stabbing her, but Jun didn't stop, he only kept going. Exactly. They've all been lying, my dear, you've been living a lie. Ino swallowed a lump in her throat, knowing she'd regret what she was about to ask. Why did you choose me? Why was I only a distraction? What did you really want? I wanted someone I could never have. Isn't it funny how we always want something we can't have? Jun sighed. I wanted that person so badly. They didn't want me though, they were in love with another, with you. Jun looked at Ino with gleaming green eyes. Yes, you. So I came up with the master plan to use you to hurt that person so they'd come running into my arms. They got hurt all right, but they were in another person's arms. Who was that person? Ino asked wearily. Jun was cut off by Ino's name being yelled by none other than Naruto. Wow, my life's deja vu, Ino thought, seeing the all too familiar scene being replayed. Stay away from her, Naruto said, walking up to them. Come on Ino, this guy is no good. Ah, why do you insist on hurting my feelings, Naru-kun? Jun asked, feigning hurt. Naruto ignored the dirty blonde, sticking his hands out towards Ino. Come on Ino-chan, let's get going, away from him. No, Ino said in a stronger voice than she felt. I'm not going away, I need the truth, she said, turning to look at Jun. Who was the one you used me to hurt? You were looking at him, Jun said, giving a sly smirk, seeing Ino's shocked face. Yeah, you heard right, I'm gay for Naruto, that's the only person I ever wanted. And all he ever wanted was you till after the car accident. Did you know Naruto was in the other car? But yeah, he was. And did you know him and Sakura had broken up because he had declared he was madly in love with you, but you cruelly rejected him? Ino looked at Naruto wide-eyed. The truth was more surprising than she thought. Naruto, is this true? Naruto looked down. Yeah, all of it is true. But I didn't want you to find out. I thought it'd be better if you didn't remember. Ino, he hurt you badly, you were heartbroken, and it was my fault. I couldn't bear to see you like that, Naruto confessed. So now that you know the truth, dear, Jun started casually, uncaring. What will you do? Will you stay and remember you horrible past, or run away? I truthfully don't know why I'm writing in this, but Hinata had gotten it for me and she looked so excited when she was giving it to me. I didn't have it in my heart to disappoint such a sweet girl. A quick recap of my life. Hello. My name is Yamenka Ino. I'm 18 years old. I got into a freak car accident and lost all my memories. I'm best friends with a blonde who goes by the name of Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto dates Haruno Sakura, who is my female best friend. She's pretty and strong but is secretly insane and hates my guts. Well, at least I think so. It's hard to tell with her, but Sakura doesn't really like Naruto. She's after Uchiha Sasuke, who's secretly dating Hyuga Hinata, a shy girl who has become a really good friend. My brother Deidara is secretly gay but just came out of the closet and is dating a really hot redhead who is deeply in love with him, Sasori. Oh, and to add to all this, I found out I'm madly in love with Naruto, but it's only one-sided for many reasons. 1. He's oblivious. 2. He thinks of me as a sister. 3. Lastly but most importantly, he's madly in love with Sakura, who seems to always pop out of nowhere when we're having a moment. During my holiday break I met a hot guy named Jun who is mysterious and seemed to know a lot about me. But when Naruto caught Jun kissing me in the bandit, he got sup. Confused yet. Well, hang in there, there's much more to come. During my holiday break I met a hot guy named Jun who is mysterious and seemed to know a lot about me. But when Naruto caught Jun kissing me in the bandit, he got super pissed, and not because Jun was kissing me sadly, he then dragged me away when Jun yelled at me about the truth, which piqued my interest. Naruto refused to tell me the truth, telling me to stay away from Jun. I then find out on Christmas of all days that my family's hiding a secret from me, so I call Jun and ask him to tell me the truth, but he'll only tell me on New Year's night, which is supposed to be the same time I meet Naruto. My mom then tells me that there was a possibility that I wasn't her real daughter, but in the end it turns out I was, so not going to living on a farm. Yay. Lost yet? Let's hope not. I'm far from done. In the end I decided to go to the abandoned park to meet Jun, but on my bus ride there I meet this strange girl Miyako who goes by the name of Miko. She's a psychic telepathic who could read auras. She read my aura and warned me about going to Jun and finding out the truth. But I ignored her and went to Jun anyways, and trust me when I say the truth isn't always the greatest thing. I found out that I was in a car accident about a year ago, going into a coma and remembering nothing about the accident. Everyone goes on pretending that the accident never happened and never tell me about it. Only to add to that, I used to go out with Jun and Naruto used to be madly in love with me, but I cruelly broke his heart. Funny how these things go, huh? Oh, and if all that wasn't enough, I was only a toy, a distraction to Jun, who was actually gay and very madly, boarding the line of obsession, in love with Naruto. So you see, that's pretty much my life, and trust me, I wouldn't believe it either if it wasn't. Sadly, may I add again, it is my life. Well, that's pretty much it for today. I don't think I could add any more than I already have. This has been one hell of a year, huh? Naruto asked, leaning against the sakura tree in front of Konoha High. Spring had come and all the flowers and trees were in full bloom. Yeah, Ino sighed, leaning against the same tree as her friend. What's wrong? We just graduated high school. Naruto said, nudging the girl. You're supposed to be happy, free to get on with our lives. Yeah, but still I have to go to summer school to make up for all that lost time, the female blonde said, sighing. It truly had been one hell of a year and no words could explain what happened, not to mention that she still had not fully regained her memory, and most importantly her relationship with Naruto has been shaky and he was sadly still dating Sakura, who was still love you, hate you, I wanna kill you, we're best friends forever. Don't worry, it only for like 3 weeks, then it's all fun in the sun, Naruto said, grinning, thinking about all the things he'll be doing over the summer. Ino, Naruto, yelled a soft voice. The two blondes looked up to see a purple-haired girl running up to them wearing the green Konoha graduation robes, her cap tilted on her head, a soft and gentle smile gracing her pale face, a dark-haired boy following boredly behind her. Hinata. Ino waved back, smiling at her friend who came up and bear hugged her. Can you believe it, we graduated? Hinata said, happily dancing around. Sasuke replied, surprised that the Dobi graduated. Yes. Shut up, Tem. Naruto yelled, and the two started to pointlessly argue. Hinata enthusiastically started speaking about her plans with Sasuke for the summer. Her and Sasuke were still secretly dating, and Ino half-mindedly listened. You guys, what's up? Kiba came to the group, followed by Tenten. Hey. Ino replied. What's up? Naruto asked. Sakura's looking for you, man. She looks pretty pissed off, said Kiba, standing awfully close to a certain dark-haired, lavender-eyed Hyuga. Shit. Naruto cursed loudly before grinning sheepishly. I gotta go see you at her party tonight, the blonde said before quickly running in the direction towards the front of the school where both parents, students and teachers crowded. Oh, and Hinata-chan, Neji's looking for you too. Tenten blushed when saying Neji's name. We're going to your house to get ready. Okay, give me a minute, Hinata said, turning towards Ino. Sure, let's go, Kiba, the brown-haired bun said, grabbing the dog lover's arm. Ino-chan, are you going to Sakura's party? Hinata hesitantly asked. No, I don't think I was invited, Ino said, looking away from the dark-haired girl. Did you, ever tell Naruto the truth? Ino sighed, running her hand through her blonde hair. No, I just really couldn't bring myself to do so. I just can't. Ino-chan, you really should. Hinata had started till she was rudely cut off by Ino. Hinata, please just drop it and you should really go. Oh, Hinata said quietly. She looked like she wanted to say something but kept shut and walked away, less peppy. Oh, why did I have to be so mean? Ino groaned to herself, thinking how she hurt her sweet friend. You weren't hard, she's just too sensitive, came a male voice, making Ino jump out of surprise. The blonde looked up, meeting a pair of dark eyes. Sasuke, didn't realize you were still here. The Uchiha said. Do you want me to drive you home? Your family left earlier. Oh, it's okay, I kinda wanted to walk home, get some fresh air and stuff, Ino said, giving a weak smile. Sasuke said, looking at the blonde unconvinced before turning and walking away. Oh, and you shouldn't let that blonde get you all worked up. He may be an idiot, but he still cares. It just takes him longer than normal people. Time skip. Ino walked down the street. This was exactly what the blonde needed, walking down the street with clear air, warm weather, sunshine, and all the flowers at full bloom. Yup, the blonde much preferred the spring over winter, but that she had graduated high school, she really had no idea on what to do. Being 18 with no memory, losing her best friend to her crazy ex-best friend, now what? You should really watch where you're going. Ino heard a voice making her snap out of her deep thoughts. The blonde looked up to see that she was about to walk into a pole, then looked to the side to see Miyako. Miyako, hi. The blonde stuttered out, surprised to see the girl. She was wearing plain skinny jeans, a long-sleeved light brown shirt, and cowboy boots, her hair in a loose ponytail. So how was graduation? Asked the blue-haired, walking down the street next to the blonde. Psychic ability. No, Naruto just has a really big mouth, Miyako said lazily, so wanna grab some lunch? Ino was about to reject the offer but realized that she hadn't eaten all day due to her extreme nervousness. Lunch. Ino took a seat, disappointed to see that they had only gone to a regular outdoor lunch place. Miyako started to laugh. Sorry to disappoint, but if you want to go someplace more fun, I know this cool Indian restaurant, though it's a 2-hour drive from here. I don't have a car and I'm sure you won't be driving for a while. Ino scowled the other girl. Can you please stop using your psychic abilities to read my mind or whatnot? Miyako again laughed. I wasn't reading your mind. I don't do that unless I have permission or it's an emergency. What do you want with me appearing at these random moments? Ino asked the question that's been bothering her. We used to be best friends, Miyako said, taking a bite of her sandwich. Me, you, Sakura, and of course Naruto. And I mean the four of us inseparable. Really? Blue Eyes looked surprised. What happened? Well, if I were to tell you that, then you would need to hear more of my history, Miyako said calmly. I moved here in the middle of kindergarten, and up till 3rd grade everything was perfect till my mom and dad started arguing all the time. Then my mom had an affair on my dad with this man. My dad found out and they argued more, but neither of them wanted to give up the marriage. That's when things started getting bad. The guy that my mom was having an affair with came in the middle of the night. Quote, comma, dot. He came in when we had just had dinner. He was really pissed, saying that he loved my mother and that he wanted her, but my mom had told him no and that she wanted to stay with her family. My parents told me to go upstairs, but before I could, he had pulled a gun and shot. First he shot my dad. Then when she still wouldn't cooperate, he shot her, saying they'd be tighter forever. Then he took out a knife and stabbed me over and over again. Before I passed out from the pain and blood loss, I saw him shooting himself. Ino stared in utter horror at the dark-haired girl, not knowing what to say or do. This was just so horrible. Yeah, I know, terrible, right? But I'm not even done yet. After that, I amazingly survived within an inch of my life. The doctors said it was a miracle. Then that's when it started. At first it was hearing things people thought every once in a while, then seeing people with strange colors. After about a month at a foster home, my mom started visiting me. She sang my favorite lullaby to me every night. And then my dad started visiting me too as well, telling me stories. When I did finally tell someone about the visits, I was shipped off to the nearest mental institution to be used as a lab rat. Oh my, Ino said. To think she felt sorry for herself when Miko had gone through much worse. I'm so sorry. Don't say you're sorry when you feel it out of pity, Miyako said, simply going back to eating her sandwich. I came back here to talk about you. I wanna help. Why do you want to help me, even if we used to be friends and all? Karma. Yeah, you know karma. The thing that's bigger than us in all of the world. The thing that judges us. If you're good comes your way. If you're bad, you get an ass kicking, Miko explained simply. By helping you, I'm hoping to clean my karma. Wait, so you're just using me so good will come your way? Ino asked, not sounding happy. Miko giggled. If you put it that way, then yes, it does sound bad, but isn't that human nature? Use and be used. Ino sighed, running her hands through her blonde hair. So how are you going to help me and clean you karma? I'm going to give you a graduation present, Miyako said, leaning forward, smiling widely, eyes sparkling. A graduation present? Ino asked with confused blue eyes. Time skip that night. Naruto's POV. I sighed leaning against a wall watching the world of stuck-up people mingle and talk about their riches and expenses while looking down on the less fortunate. I really hated these types of people. Why and I even here. Oh yeah, Sakura, I'm here because I love Sakura and this means a lot to her. Sigh, I wonder where Ino is. I left in such a hurry I didn't even get to ask her if she was coming. Things have been really awkward between the two of us ever since that thing happened with Jun. Now she must really hate me. Yo blonde, stop being so depressing, you're ruining my funk, came a voice making me look up to see Miyako. Miko, I said loudly, giving her a bone-crushing hug. It's been like years since I've seen her in person. What are you doing here? I asked when I finally let her go. Sakura invited me, she said, straightening out her short white dress that was decorated in music notes. She did? I asked, surprised. I didn't know the two talked, which reminded me of something. Hey, you know where Ino is? Oh yeah, she's grabbing a bus to Suna, Miko said, simply dancing around. I grabbed her by the shoulder, making her look at me. What the hell do you mean she's going to Suna? Sasori Deidara's boyfriend. Yeah, he has a cousin in Suna. You know Gaara, right? That's his cousin, Miko said. How could you let her grab a bus to Suna and live with some weird guy? I practically shouted, getting some strange looks from passers. Miko pried my hands of her shoulder. Firstly, Gaara isn't mentally stable, not necessarily strange, and you know it's still not too late. It's like 10:30 and her bus leaves around 11:25. You still have time to catch her. Thank you, Miko, I said, kissing her on the cheeks and running past her towards the door. I had just made it outside when Sakura came out of nowhere, not letting me pass through. Naruto, I've been looking everywhere for you, she screeched unhappily. And where do you think you're going? Look, Sakura, please move. I need to find Ino, I said, trying to be patient. What do you mean have to find Ino? She can wait. My parents are about to make an announcement and you have to be with me as my date. Look, Sakura, I know this is all important to you, but I really have to stop her from making, I said, patience wearing thin as I was running out of time. So now Ino's more important than me? Sakura yelled. She was getting pissed. Don't forget that I'm your girlfriend and she's the one who hurt you. Who are you going to choose, me or her? Her, I said simply without thinking, which made me shocked. What did you say? Sakura asked. She was daring me. I said I choose Ino, I said confidently. Now get out of my way. I'm going to go find her and beg her to stay, and with that I was off. Sighed. I've been looking for Sasuke everywhere and have had no such luck, and everyone I ask about Sasuke they look at me weirdly and ask me why I'm looking for him, which makes me feel embarrassed. Hey Hinata-chan, Kiba yelled, running up to me. Kiba-kun, you look nice, I said, looking at his brown suit, knowing he hated wearing them. For a moment I thought about asking him for Sasuke but quickly disregarded the idea. Thanks, Kiba said, sounding bashful, which was very un-Kiba-like. I kinda wanted to ask you something. Sure, what is it? I asked, smiling gently up at him. Well, can we talk in private? There's just so many people around, he said, making me look around and notice that there was really a lot more people than I originally thought there was. Me and my brown-haired best friend made our way to the balcony, which was beautifully lit with golden yellow Christmas-like lights looking over the beautiful rose garden below. So what you wanna talk about? I asked, turning to look at Kiba, who looked to be rather nervous, which was again very unlike Kiba, which got me very worried. Hey Kiba, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, why wouldn't I be? He said, grinning at me, but it looked a little forced. I wanted to ask you something, you see. What is it? I asked, leaning closer. I wasn't a person who really enjoyed suspense. Will you be my girlfriend? He blurted out, surprising me, and I swear if I wasn't holding onto the railing I would have fallen flat on my face. My face started to get bright red as I stood up straight and started pocking my fingers nervously. Old habits die hard but raise from the dead with amazing speed, I thought, still pocking my fingers and avoiding eye contact. Kiba, that's really sweet of you and all. I stuttered out, still pocking and twiddling my fingers, but, I kinda like someone. Who? I thought you said you were over Naruto. Kiba said accusingly. I did. I am, I said too quickly even for myself. It's just that I really like this person, and I'm Kinda going out with them, I said ever so quietly that I didn't think he'd heard me. So who is this guy? And why didn't you tell me? I thought we were best friend, Kiba said, sounding more hurt than angry. You are, I said in a desperate voice, I'm really sorry. Kiba sighed. Don't apologize as long as you're happy. I guess I'm happy for you too, he said, running his head through his shaggy hair. So who's the lucky bastard? That would be me, came a voice from behind the two friends. I. Both turned around to see the dark-haired Uchiha. My eyes went wide. Did he really have to show up now at all times? No. I don't believe it, Kiba said, eyes narrowed. It is, I said shyly. Kiba, I really do like Sasuke. Kiba huffed, taking me by the shoulder, bringing me towards Sasuke. Fine. But if you ever hurt her, you've got me to answer to, Uchiha. Really? So you're not mad? I said hopefully. I really hate it when Kiba's mad at me, which is not often. Nah, not really. As long as you're happy, I'm fine, Kiba said nonchalantly, taking his leave. I turned to look at Sasuke, smiling widely before stepping on my tippy toes to gently kiss him. I was truly and very happy, so now I could only hope everyone else finds their own happiness. Miyako's pav. I sighed, leaning against the wall far away from everyone watching them mingle. It's not that I'm antisocial, it's just that sometimes all the energy gets too much for me. It's overwhelming. I took a sip of my punch that I'm very sure had some alcohol-like substance in it. Wonder where Sakura could be. Maybe I shouldn't interrupt her anger. Then there's that whole Sasuke and Hinata thing. It's about time that two proud Uchiha. Maybe I should. Oh no, I could never do that to Hinata. Well, could I? Yes, I could, but I won't. I leaned of the wall and started walking towards outside. All this energy was giving me a headache. I really needed to work on my concentration, if not I'm gonna suffocate. Plus. Shit. I said, seeing that I bumped into someone and spilled my drink all over them. I am so sorry, I said, using a napkin to whip the tux, and that's when I look up, seeing dark brown eyes and black hair shaped like a pineapple. I gasped, taking a step back, leaving my head down. Troublesome, I heard him murmur. Yup. There was no doubt that was him. Sorry, I mumbled, still keeping my head down. I could feel his lazy brown eyes scan over me curiously. You look familiar, he said. Do I know you? I quickly shook my head no before running past him, not looking back when he called for me. I took a deep breath when I finally reached outside. Karma's a bitch, I murmured to myself. Sakura's pav. I sighed, sitting on the front steps of my grand house. My life was officially over. Naruto went to Ino. Sasuke's dating Hinata, which is like, what the hell does he see in her? And now I'm left here alone. What the freak? Everything was supposed to go my way. You look like you could use one of these, I heard a male voice, but didn't look up till they sat next to me. It was Kiba, and he was holding a bottle of beer to me. I don't drink such cheap stuff, I said, turning around. You know what, Sakura? No wonder why Naruto left you and Sasuke never wanted you. You're such a bitch and can't even say a simple thank you when someone tries to be nice, Kiba said, taking a swing at his beer. You have no right to be talking. Hinata rejected you, I shot back. Yes, but I know how to take rejection. I didn't go around stalking her and planning revenge of any type, Kiba said. I turned to glare at the dog lover, grabbing the bottle of beer that was offered to her earlier, taking a swing. Do you think I'm crazy? Kiba howled out a large laugh. I don't think you're crazy. I've known that you're crazy ever since you yelled at Akumaru for being too dog and not enough cat. I blushed, looking down, feeling embarrassed. I really didn't know what I was thinking when I said that. But then again, I really didn't know what I was thinking half the time. Do you think I might need help, like mental help? That would be a smart idea. How did I ever get so messed up? I mean, really, life was wonderful. I was wonderful. How did I ever end up like this? I groaned into her hands, feeling pathetic. I've known you since kindergarten, Hanyuro, and I think we all get messed up somewhere along the way. Some of us just go along with it better than others. I mean, look at Miyako. She could have ended in a mental hospital, but she decided to deal with it, not feel sorry, Kiba explained. I sighed, letting thinking for a minute before looking at the brown-haired boy. Kiba. What? Asked he, turning to look at me. Thank you. Naruto's pav. Damn it. I cursed, stomping on my brakes. How the hell could this road be closed? I kept cursing as I quickly got out of my car, making a dash towards the bus station, which was still like another half a mile away. There's no way I could make it, but I had to try, right? I can't let her get away from me again when I'm capable of doing something to stop her. I kept running till I made it to the bus station office, cutting in front of a long line of angry people. Sir, can you please go to the end of the line? The lady at the front counter asked as politely as possible. Look, can you just tell me when the bus to Suna leaves? I asked hurriedly. I'm sorry, sir, but can you please wait in line like everyone else? The lady said. She was losing patience. Look, I don't have the frickin' time. The girl of my dreams is getting on that bus, and if I don't stop her, she'll never come back, I said pleadingly. Fine, the girl said, looking at me sympathetically. It's bus 53, lane 3, and leaves in about 1 minute. Thank you, I said, dashing away outside towards lane 3, praying that I make it in time. As I see the dull light of the bus and a lone figure stepping on with flowing blonde hair, I knew it was her, Ino. I yelled at the top of my voice. I've been doing that a lot. I stopped in front of the bus, desperately grabbing onto her arm. Naruto, what are you doing here? She asked, surprised, and I answered her in the only way I knew to. I pulled her towards me, kissing her deep and long, not wanting to stop, but we eventually had to pull away to breath. I'm sorry, I say, and I promise that I'll stay with you forever and help you get your memories back. Ino, I love you, so please don't go away and live with some strange guy. Please stay with me. Her cloudy baby blue eyes stared at me. Before she did something unsuspecting, she slapped me square across the face. Okay, I think I deserved that, I mumbled. She looked at me for a second more before she started laughing. What's so funny? She smiled gently at me before leaning and giving me a kiss. I love you too, Naru-kun, and you don't have to worry about my memories. What do you mean? I asked, confused. Did me kissing you make you regain your memories like in The Wicked Witch? That was Snow White Baka, she said, rolling her eyes, and Miyako already helped me with that. So if Miyako helped you regain your memories, then why were you going to Suna? I asked, still needing answers. To see if you loved me enough to come after me, Ino said, smiling. So you two set me up, I said, not sounding as mad as I was supposed to be. Don't think of it as a setup, more like a test of love, she said, kissing me under the shine of the moon, and I happily kissed back. And you may kiss the bride, the pastor said, as Ino, who was decked in white, and Naruto, who was all cleaned up, leaned in to kiss each other lovingly as everyone stood applauding at the sight of the young and lovely couple. Congratulations, the people cheered as the two walked into the room where the reception was being held and danced away, falling into step with each move, although Naruto did step on his and Ino's feet a lot, causing them in the end to tumble to the ground. Hinata squealed, hugging Ino and Naruto when they had finished their dance. That was, for lack of better word, very bad. She then handed them what seemed to be a notebook. You really didn't have to get us anything, you know, Ino said. Yeah, but I decided as a love matchmaker to write a book about you adventure, Hinata said dreamingly, but it's not done yet and I still don't have a title. Still a hopeless romantic, I see, Sasuke said, giving his girlfriend a hug from behind. I'm only hopeless because I'm in love with you, she replied, standing on her tippy toes to give him a lingering kiss. Naruto made a puking noise which caused Ino to hit him upside the head before earning to the two. How about I like your eyes? I mean, that's how I did fall in love. Not bad, but it's not really selling it, Hinata said with a thoughtful look. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Memories of a non-lover to lover, Miyako said, walking towards the small group, a glass of champagne in her hand. What? That's what you going to call the book? The girl said, shrugging before turning to the newlyweds. As much as I think you two are idiots for getting married before you even go to college, congrats. Aw, thanks, Ino said, giving the shorter girl half hug. So any insight on our future or anything like that? She asked, looking with hopeful light blue eyes. Ya don't eat the leftover cake a week from now, bad stuff, Miyako said playfully, but seriously, all this love feast makes me want to puke. Come on, Naruto said, putting his arms around the girl. I'm sure Shikamaru could use the company, he said, a smirk on his face. Brown eyes narrowed. Ino, unless you want to end up a widow before even your honeymoon, I suggest you tell this idiot to let go of me and keep his mouth shut. Don't be mean, this is my wedding day, Naruto whined. Hey, look who it is, Hinata said, pointing to Pink, and the group looked up, seeing the one and only Sakura Haruno. The group hadn't talked much to her ever since that night Naruto and Ino got together. What's she doing here? Asked the Uchiha, putting his arms around his lovely girlfriend. She wants to talk to the bride, Miyako said. Me? Ino asked, pointing a figure at herself, all of a suddenly feeling nervous. Naruto was about to say something before Miyako cut in. Don't worry, she's not going to try to kill you then sacrifice you to some ritual, she just wants to talk. Fine, Ino said, walking towards the pink-haired girl. You three are my witnesses, and if I get hurt, please bury me in this dress. So I see you came, Ino said, sounding awkward as she stood in front of Sakura. Okay, before you say anything, please listen to me. I know I'm the least person you want to talk to on this special day, but I just really wanted to say sorry. Sakura spoke out, sounding ever so sincere. And I understand that if you never want anything to do with me, but I am getting help cause I am just a little, tiny bitsy mental and I want to fix all my mistakes. So I'm really sorry to you and everyone else I've ever hurt. Ino sighed. I don't know if I'll ever be able to completely forgive you. But I'd like to start anew, the blonde said, sticking her hands out. Hello, I'm Uzumaki Ino. Would you like to meet my husband Uzumaki Naruto? I'm Haruno Sakura, and I would love to, Sakura said, shaking the blonde's hand. 1 year later. I hate you, a blonde frantically screamed, throwing every spoon she could get her hands on. No you don't, sweetheart, just please calm down, the male on the receiving end said while dogging. Don't call me sweetheart, how dare you do this to me? The woman yelled, moving from spoons to forks. I hate you so damn much, just go to hell. You don't mean that, the guy again said desperately, now trying to dodge not only forks but knives as well. Why the hell did we have to buy so much knives, even if they were on sale? Now Ino, sweetheart, the male said, taking an attentive step forward when she had finally run out of utensils to throw. You know I didn't mean to do this to you, but remember how happy you are. I just really want my sweet loving wife back. Yeah, because it's all about you, Ino yelled at Naruto. It's always about you, why not me, damn it, just once don't you care about me, she yelled, full of rage, picking up a large electric knife. You two are rather lively this morning, Miyako said, stepping into the kitchen in her bathrobe, making her way to the coffee pot and taking a seat at the counter, a cup of coffee at hand. Did you actually sleep through that whole argument? Naruto asked, sweat dropping when the dark-haired girl nodded her head. How about if she tried to murder me? Then we'd bury the body together, and anyways I have my own problems besides if your pissed off wife kills you or not. Thanks Yumiko, Ino said, dropping the knife and skipping to the bathroom. Let's get ready to go shopping. Month later. It's a healthy baby boy, the nurse said, handing Ino a bundle wrapped in blue. Ah, Ino cooed, seeing the baby boy had white blonde hair and Naruto's beautiful blue eyes. He has you eyes. And your smile, Naruto said, leaning, kissing his wife. He at this very moment was the happiest man alive, with a beautiful loving wife and now a healthy son. The blonde was truly living his dream life that was now reality. So what are we going to name him? How about Norio? Uzumaki Norio, sounds perfect. I love your eyes, Ino said, looking up at her husband, and I love you. Love you too, Naruto said.